Hello everyone. In this video, we will discuss about patent. So what is patent? A patent is an exclusive right granted by the government to an inventor, enabling him to control the manufacture, sale, or other use of invention for a specified period of time. Basically, it's all about invention. Patent is an exclusive right, which means you are the only person who have the right to manufacture, sell, or other use of invention. This right exclude others from infringement, making, selling, or importing your invention. If ever someone tries to copy your invention for the purpose of owning them as their own, you can sue them. Thus, the right granted by government to inventor protect their invention over a specified period of time. There are two principal types of patents, namely product patents and process patents. Product patents cover actual physical products, while process patents are process of making products. The patent can be granted for product, devices and systems, processes, compositions, methods, and uses. One notable example of patent is the Apple's patent with its patent name as electronic device. If you could see Apple's design and its system, it is different from Android because all of the products of Apple uses the iOS mobile operating system and are designed by Apple itself, making Apple products different. Now, we can infer that patent is an intangible asset because it cannot be seen. It is a right granted by government. Additionally, it is considered as asset because it fits the three essential criteria: identifiable, control, and future economic benefit. Identifiable. There is a specific agency of the government that govern it, which is the Bureau of Patent. This right is given by this agency of the government, which makes it identifiable as the inventor's property. Control. Because of the right granted, the person entitled to the patent is given control. Thus, as the definition said, the inventor is the only one who can manufacture, sell, or other use of the invention. Future economic benefit. There is expected to be a cash flow from a patent because an inventor create and sell the product they made, like what Apple did. Additionally, these patents can also be licensed or sold. Because patent is granted by the government, it has a legal life. In the Philippines, in accordance with Republic Act Number 8293 or the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines, which took effect on January 1, 1998, said that the legal life of a patent is 20 years. It is also important to remember that a patent cannot be renewed but the life can be extended beyond the legal life by a new patent for improvements and changes. Under the US GAAP, a patent is classified as technology-based intangible asset.
Cost of patent. It is the reasonable fees and expenses paid by an entity to acquire a patent. The cost incurred and capitalized as cost of the patent depends whether the patent is acquired by purchase or the patent is internally developed. If the patent is acquired by purchase, the cost comprises purchase price or the acquisition price, import duties, these are the taxes related to the importation of patent, non-refundable purchase taxes such as the value-added tax or VAT, any directly attributable cost of preparing the asset for the intended use. These include the costs incurred for the registration of patent, documentation, and other legal fees associated with the application of patent. If, on the other hand, the company purchased a patent from a third party, meaning from an inventor, the purchase price is the initial cost of the asset. Another method of obtaining a patent is through internally creating a patent. Magka-create ba ka og patent? Yes. If you develop a product, something that is entirely unique, which you created on your own, then you register the product to the Bureau of Patent and they grant you the legal rights to use the product while having the control of preventing others from using and gaining economic benefits from that invention, then you basically have a patent which you internally develop. So, if the patent is internally developed, the cost normally includes the licensing and other related legal fees in securing the patent rights. So, these are the capitalized costs incurred in creating the patent. As a rule, all related research and development costs shall be expensed as incurred. These are the costs incurred for the trial and error done by the company to test the invention's capacity. Why is it expense? Well, the standards specifically states that other costs incurred prior to the registration of an internally generated patent are expense. However, there are instances that additional development costs are capitalized as patent costs or accounted separately as development costs. Why is it so? Because at this point in time, the patent is now technically and commercially feasible. Hence, the capitalized development cost is recognized as intangible asset and amortized over the useful life of the patent.
Cost of litigation. This refers to the overall amount of money that is spent on a lawsuit. This includes costs related to preparation before the case, as well as costs that come up along the way during trial. There are some instances where other company will file a lawsuit against you. Mingon sila nga, dili jud ikaw originally ang inventor, and imuha lang gikopya sa ilaha. Example, naka-invent ka og product nga same lang sa ilaha, then makaingon sila nga gikopya nimo. That's why litigation happens. There are only two possibilities on litigation, successful and unsuccessful. Whether you are successful or unsuccessful on the litigation, all of the costs will be treated as an expense. Legal fees and other costs of successfully prosecuting or defending a patent shall be expensed. The reason is that such litigation cost is intended to maintain only rather than increase or enhance the future benefits of the assets. Example, nidaog ka sa kaso, but the question is, did it improve the value of the patent? The answer is no. It only maintained the value of the patent. That's why it is treated as an expense. If the litigation is unsuccessful, the legal costs and remaining costs of the patent shall be written off as loss. You debit the litigation expense and patent write-off or loss on patent, and credit the patent account.
Amortization of patent. Now, what is the difference between depreciation and amortization? Depreciation, it refers to property, plant, and equipment. You will debit depreciation expense and credit accumulated depreciation. While amortization it refers to intangible assets. You will debit an expense which is the amortization of patent and credit patent. Both are ways to account and allocate the cost of an asset over the period of its useful life. With regard to the amortization of patent, the following rules shall be observed. If a patent is internally developed, the original cost shall be amortized over the legal life or useful life, whichever is shorter. If the entity is the one who originally generated the patent, naa sila'y legal life na 20 years. But if ever ang iyang useful life is only 15 years lang, so imo siyang i-amortize kung asay mas gamay nila. Kung gamay ang iyang useful life, imo siyang i-amortize sa useful life. Kung gamay ang legal life, i-amortize na mo siya sa legal life. If the patent is acquired by an entity from an original patentee, the cost shall be amortized over the remaining legal life or useful life, whichever is shorter. If an entity purchase a patent from a patentee, unya ang patent is na-use na sa patentee for like 3 years, so pagpalit sa entity, ang remaining legal life na lang sa patent is 17 years. But if ang useful life sa asset is only 15 years lang, so imo gyapon siyang i-amortize kung asay mas gamay sa useful life o sa legal life. Third, if a competitive patent is acquired to protect an original patent, the cost of the competitive patent shall be amortized over the remaining life of the old patent. So for example, ang entity na ay patent unya na siya kontra. So ang gibuhat sa entity gipalit niya ang patent sa kontra aron maprotektahan niya ang iyang original patent. So inig-amortize sa patent, ang gamiton nga remaining life is katong original nga patent. Dili gamitin tong patent gikan sa kontra kay dili man to siya magamit. Fourth, if a related patent is acquired in order to extend the life of the old patent, the cost of the related patent and any unamortized cost of the old patent shall be amortized over the extended life. So, ang entity ni palit siya related patent to develop and to extend the life of the old patent. So, ang cost sa related patent ug ang any unamortized cost of the old patent i-add sila, then imo silang i-amortize over the extended life. If there is no extension of life, the new patent shall be amortized over its own life, and the cost of the old patent is to be amortized over the remainder of its life.
Impairment of patent. Patent is valuable, but we need to adjust it at times to mirror its current market value. So whenever there is an indication of impairment at the end of the reporting period, patents should be tested for impairment. Impairment happens when the market value of the patent is less than the carrying amount of the patent in the books. That is why the asset value must decrease. To understand it better, let's look at an example. On January 1, 2021, an entity acquired a patent for $2,400,000. The patent has a useful life of 10 years and a remaining legal life of 12 years. On December 31, 2021, there is an indication that the patent may be impaired. The patent is expected to generate cash flow of $300,000 per year for the remaining useful life of 9 years. The appropriate discount rate is 9%. The present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 for 9 periods at 9% is 6. The patent has no determinable fair value less cost of disposal. So first, we will record the patent acquisition on January 1, 2021. So, debit patent, $2,400,000 and credit cash of $2,400,000. Then we record the patent amortization for 2021, which is solved through dividing the patent acquisition cost of $2,400,000 by the useful life of the patent for 10 years, which is equal to $240,000. And since there is an indication of impairment on December 31, 2021, we need to record impairment loss. To get the impairment loss, we need to solve for the carrying amount of patent, and to do that, cost of patent is $2,400,000 subtracted by the amortization of patent previously recognized, which is $240,000. It would equal to $2,160,000. And then, we solve for the present value of cash flow, which is $300,000 times 6, which will equal to $1,800,000. And then, we subtract the present value of cash flow or value in use of $1,800,000 from the carrying amount of the patent, which is $2,160,000, which will give us $360,000. And to record the impairment loss on December 31, 2021, we need to debit impairment loss $360,000 and credit patent $360,000. And in 2022, the amount to be recorded as amortization will of course change since the new amount of the patent is now $1,800,000. $1,800,000 then will be divided by the remaining useful life of 9 years and will give us a patent amortization for 2022 of $200,000. To record, amortization of patent will be debited by $200,000 and then credit patent of $200,000.
Good morning, class. Today we will be discussing about amortization of patents. On October 2018, the company purchased a patent for $7,140,000, and the patent is being amortized over the remaining legal life of 15 years, expiring on January 1, 2033. Now, it is mentioned in the book that the purchase price of the patent shall be amortized over its legal life or its useful life, whichever is shorter. However, in this problem, we only mentioned the legal life of 2 years, therefore, the annual amortization of the patent is divided by $7,140,000 and its legal life of 15 years, and we will have an annual amortization of $476,000 determine that the economic benefits of the patent will not last longer than 10 years from the date of acquisition, which is a change in economic estimate. The requirement is asking, what is the carrying amount of the patent on December 31, 2021? First, since we already have our annual amortization of 476,000, let us compute the used life or the expired life of the patent, which is the difference between January 1, 2018 to January 1, 2021. 2018, 2019, 2020 is 3 years. 476,000 times 3 years is our accumulated amortization of the patent from January 1, 2018 to January 1, 2021. And then it equal to 1,428,000. We already have our annual amortization of 476,000, and from January 1, 2018 to January 1, 2021, 3 years have passed, and 476,000 times 3 years would equal to our accumulated amortization of 1,428,000. We all know that in computing the carrying amount, it is the difference between the cost and the accumulated amortization. Which is, in this case, our cost is equal to 7,140,000, and our accumulated amortization is 1,428,000. The difference of these two is our carrying amount as of January 1, 2021. $7,140,000 minus $1,428,000 will be sold to our January 1, 2021 carrying amount of $5,712,000. Now, on January 1, 2021, there is a change in accounting estimate, which is 10 years. As of January 1, 2021, 3 years have expired, and 10 minus 3 would equal to 7 years. And the result of 5,712,000 divided 7 years is our annual amortization after the change in accounting estimate. And that would result to 816,000 annual amortization on December 31, 2021. But the question is not asking about the annual amortization after a change in accounting estimate, but rather it is asking about the carrying amount of the patent on December 31, 2021. How will we compute the carrying amount of the patent on December 31, 2021? We will be using the T account for easier to computation. In our debit side, we have the purchase price of the patent, which is $7,140,000, and our accumulated amortization before the change in accounting estimate, which is $1,428,000. Plus, the annual amortization after the change in accounting estimate, which is on December 31, 2021, which is 816,000. The sum of 1,428,000 and 816,000 on our patent side is equal to 2,244,000. The difference between the purchase price of the patent and the accumulated amortization from January 2018 to December 31, 2021 is $4,896,000, which is the patent's carrying amount as of December 31, 2021.